Welcome, y'all, to So You Mean to Tell Me, the podcast. If you listened to the podcast before, welcome back. I missed you. If this is your first time, you're in for a treat. This is a mental health podcast where we talk about all things mental health as it relates in the real world. This particular episode will be about harassment, particularly in the workplace, but it can relate to anywhere in the world. And I'm going to follow this with a little personal story time, but then I'm going to give y'all some tips and also some hotlines and crisis lines that you can reach out to if you are in need or if you know anybody who is in need. So I want to put out a trigger warning because I'm going to tell y'all a quick little story before we get into all the tips and things like that. So let's get into it. Okay, so I know that it can be kind of hard to, well, not even kind of, I know that it can be hard to report any kind of harassment, man or woman. It can be really hard because, for one, you don't think people are going to believe you. For two, sometimes you just don't want to do all of that. You know, when I say all of that, of course it's necessary. Of course it's something that I do think that you should do. Report, talk to whoever needs to be talked to and things like that. But for some people, it's just not that easy. It's anxiety, it's fear, it's you've done this before and you haven't been believed. It's patterns. You just never know what somebody's thought process is. So I have never been, and will never be in the business of victim blaming or victim shaming. We don't do that around here. We don't do that ever. That's not cool. That's not it. You just don't ever know what somebody is going through or what somebody is thinking. So what we're not going to ever do is say, well, you should have told somebody, or well, you should have did this, or you should have did that. Because you never know. And we can't would've, could've, should've anybody. Okay, y'all. So I'm going to tell you my story. So I was working at a restaurant and I was a server, and I was serving a man who I was familiar with because he's a regular. He comes in every night and he calls himself a people watcher. So he's there every night for an extended period amount of time, just reading his book and watching people. That's what he does. I personally found that kind of strange, but I try not to judge, so I just served him as usual. Well, one particular day when I was serving him, he said to me, "Oh, you can be my sugar baby." What? First of all, sir, all I asked for was what you wanted to drink. You're going too far. But me, I'm a hee, laugh it all, on to the next. Do you want your regular tea or do you want something else? So whatever, I go get, the drink. I come back. He tells us as in the servers and the other employees, management and such, that he was going to give the staff lottery tickets. Everybody lottery tickets, because we're a friendly staff. We always come and we take care of him. That was going to be our Christmas gift from him. So he said that he would give us those tickets. And I said, oh, that's really nice of you. When I win, because I'm all about affirming and believing and speaking it into reality. So I said, when I win, I'm going to have to break you off. Just me being me, being me, like, of course I'm gonna break you off. You done gave me this lottery ticket, I done came up, whatever. And he said, "Girl, I'm trying to take you with me. I'm trying to make you my girl. I'm trying to make you my woman." Like, first of all, y'all, let's take it back. Number one, I usually be having my hair did up, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some braids down to the butt, down to the thighs, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a little wiggy wig, bust down middle part, something. But lately, I've been naturaling it out, and people usually tell me that I look significantly younger. I am 22 years old, mind you. However, some people may say you can pass for 17, you can pass for 18, 19, younger ages. And even so, even being 18, of legal of age, I find it significantly very, 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 very weird, very creepy, very uncomfortable, very disheartening. I don't like it. It makes me go ill. Like, it's not it for me. It's not it for me. You know what I'm saying? So don't make me feel uncomfortable. So I feel like him not knowing my age made it weirder for me. You know what I'm saying? And this, like I said, this wasn't the first date. this was the second day. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I go and I tell my management. Now, I asked them to not say anything until I had cashed him out, because like I told y'all, he lingers around, and I didn't want it to be uncomfortable for me walking around the restaurant and you're still here staring at me. But what do? They go and they talk to him anyway before he cashed out. So they go and they talk to him, and it's really awkward because after they talk to him or whatever, I'm walking around to my other tables, and he goes, Deja, like screaming my name across the goddamn restaurant, making me uncomfortable. Like, I feel you looking at me. You know what I'm saying? I know you're looking at me. I see you through my peripheral. I'm not crazy. I know you're watching me, and now I'm even more uncomfortable than I was before. So that's what happened originally when I told management. And what really upset me the most about that was, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like they didn't have my back. And I will say that because he was still allowed to enter the restaurant. And I don't know, I'm not even saying that I'm in the business of banning people or whatever, because like, I don't really know what should have been done. But, you know, upon that happening, we've learned further information. He had been banned from a previous restaurant for, you know, to my knowledge, unknown reasons. I don't know, and I only know that because management told me. And then, you know, things like him giving employees sex books to read that he said that he got from the old ladies at church. Just things like that. Like, things like that are uncomfortable, and things like that are weird to me. And I just feel like with y'all, them knowing the background information, the background knowledge, and now I'm coming to tell you this, I felt like my uncomfortability should have been taken more seriously, because although I was allowed to refuse service to him, like I didn't have to serve him anymore, but still, you know what I'm saying, it's still uncomfortable because you're still looking at me every time you're talking to my tables now, which you never did. Like, you're inserting yourself in my life, so to say. And it's just, and then as an authority figure, as somebody who's supposed to protect us, you're supposed to protect us, you know, as an older man, somebody, you're supposed to be an elder. I'm supposed to look up to you, you know what I'm saying? As a black man, especially to me, you know, I feel like in the community, I'm supposed to feel safe around you, and I don't. That's why I just don't feel safe around men. I don't. And I feel like a lot of women feel that way because a lot of men have made us feel uncomfortable. A lot of men are straight up weirdos. That's what it is. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's the truth. It gives creeper vibes. It gives uncomfortable. It gives ill. Back up. Leave me alone, please. Like, please. That is me. I don't like to be bothered, talked to, none of that, because not even to seem stuck up or rude, but you have to understand, you do not know what people have gone through. That's the thing. Like, when it happens to me, like, I'm expressing this to my dad and my mom, like, I'm telling them what happened, and I'm like, these people don't know what I've been through. You know, you don't know. You're joking like that. He's playing, or he's joking, and oh, it was harmless. Oh, I don't think he meant it like that. It was harmless. You don't know what type of triggers that gives me. Do y'all hear yourselves? These are people who I thought, well, you know, would have my back in a situation like that. And you know what I'm saying? I don't feel no ill will towards any of the employees at that establishment, because for why? I like them, you know what I'm saying? They're not bad people. But for me, I just would have handled that situation differently, because if we work together and I consider you, you know, we say family in that environment, I would think that I would be there for you in that situation, but I felt left out. Now let's get into some further details. Let's break it down. Number one, okay, you heard the story. He never touched me. He never did anything like that. Like, there was nothing like that. There was no physical harassment. However, I do want you all to know that if you say things to people that make them uncomfortable, you know, you're sexually making sexual remarks uncomfortable, that is it's out of line. You know what I'm saying? It's unprofessional. It's inhumane. It's just not right for you to be doing that. It is still harassment. Do not let anybody downplay your situation. I think that it is absolutely absurd that some people only take things seriously if things have to escalate that far. You know what I'm saying? Of course, somebody physically touching you was a terrible thing. Of course, that's a terrible thing. But you saying something off the wall to me is a terrible thing too. We need to go ahead and nip that in the bud before it gets further. Things like that need to be stopped. Things like that need to be prevented. It needs to be taken seriously because it's happening. It's happening and it's going unreported. It's going unreported. At the end of this, I will definitely leave some statistics so that you all can see the real world statistics. It's happening. Men and women. It's happening. Men are harassing men, men harassing women, women harassing men, women harassing women. It's happening always. It's real. It is a real situation. It is a real problem. And I feel like, number one, like I said, it doesn't have to be physical. Number two, if you're an employee, you need to have your co-workers' backs, period, at all times. And I don't want to say especially, but especially women to women. Especially women to women. Sometimes we all we got, for real. Sometimes we're all we have. And if you're a woman that has been in a situation where you thought a woman would have your back and she didn't, you just do not know how traumatizing that can be for somebody. You just do not know how traumatizing that can be for somebody. So you don't want to be that person that makes somebody else feel like this world doesn't have their back. Be that person to be the change. Be that person that reminds people that there is good people out here. Be that person to remind people that it is a good thing to have a community around you. It is a good thing to know somebody has your back. It is a good thing to not be alone all the time. Let people know that. Be the change that you want to see. Be that person, because people like that are needed. It's not just something that we say. It's real life. It's real life. And nothing like that. I'm not gonna say nothing like that has ever happened to me, because when I work, and just even when I'm out, women know, gas station, grocery stores, where people say remarks to you that they think are okay. And a lot of the time, these remarks be out of line, because why did you think I wanted that to be said to me? Why did you think that was okay? You're saying off the wall things to me, like you're saying sexual. You don't even know me, and you're saying things like that to me, and you think that's okay. Things like that are not okay. The third thing is, I feel like men and women need to be raised better to understand stuff like that. Because I truly believe some people were never told that you can't do things like that. And I know some people are going to say it's common sense. Well, baby, common sense is not so very common. We got to break things down. We got to stop assuming that everybody knows things, because they don't. They just truly don't. And I think that if we start getting just raised better, if we start learning better, you'll do better. You learn better, you do better. You know better, you do better, because things have to change. And I know, me personally, I was very much uncomfortable. I was very much disappointed with how the whole thing played out. And even still to this day, I think about it. And it was weighing heavy on my heart, honestly. So I really wanted to come on here and talk about it, because I really, honestly, wasn't even going to talk about it, y'all. And that's another thing. Women and men, everybody, victims. I don't even want to say victims. You know, it just makes it sound so terrible. But people who unfortunately have experienced things like this, they don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want to come forward, because, like I said, people will act like you're just complaining. People will act like you're doing too much. People will act like, oh, it was harmless. Like, no. Speak your truth, baby. Speak your truth, because guess what? Somebody listening. I am. And if I am, they is too. Somebody listening, and they gonna listen. They gonna have to listen, because something's gonna have to get done. I think the problem is people want to get so wrapped up in, oh, well, it is what it is. No, change gonna come. Change is gonna come. Like, even if it's not immediate, you gonna feel me. You gonna feel me, and you gonna hear me. So at the end of the day, something's gonna have to give. Something's gonna have to change. I want better for us in the work environment. This is somewhere where you're trying to make your money. You're trying to make your living. You're not here for all the extra. This is not what we're here for. It's not that. It's never been that. So I think as a community, especially as my mental health community, we should come up with things, organize things, post reels, more podcasts, all types of things to just spread more awareness about this, because it's too many unreported incidents. And it doesn't have to be major ones. They're all major. Any incident is a major incident, baby. Report, tell. Report, speak, tell. Please do, because it needs to change. People think it's okay and it is not. I'm very upset because I see it happen, and I notice that people think it's a game. People think it's a joke, and it's not, and it's never been that. So let's just do better. This concludes episode 4 of So You Mean to Tell Me, the podcast. If you listen to this episode, I really appreciate you, because this is one that I didn't think that I was going to record, but after speaking with people that are close to me, I realized that it is something that needed to be said, and it is something that people needed to be made aware of. So I am happy that I recorded this. I feel much lighter. I feel much better. I got it off my chest, and I really hope that I encourage somebody else to do the same. I really hope that I was able to make somebody else feel better, and I really hope that somebody is able to reference this to help somebody else if ever they're in need of it. I did leave the statistics in the description down below if you want to read them. There's just over 6,000 unreported cases of harassment just in the workplace alone. Let that sink in. That's just one setting. So this is major. This is a big problem. So I just wanted to make sure that we touched on it. Wanted to make sure that we talked about it. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at .mind.you. Everything will be left in the description box. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to comment #mind you. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're part of the community, because I love having you here. I love talking to y'all. I love just growing my community. We are quality over quantity over here. Of course, the numbers mean a lot, but just connecting with y'all means more. So thank y'all so much for all the interaction that you give. Next time you see me, it will be the next year. Y'all, I'm so excited. 2024 on the way. So many big new things, big announcements, big everything. So make sure y'all follow on Instagram to keep up with all the announcements. So it was great recording. Nice seeing y'all. See you next year. We out. Bye.